Welcome back to Kin in Line. I'll make this part 121. And as you will notice, I've actually jumped back again in time, and this is the late 80s when I was doing a lot of drawing of musicians. I'm not sure where in Port Elizabeth this was done, but it's quite a nice, effective drawing with just the essentials drawn in. The guitar, acoustic guitar suggested, the plucking arm and the fingering of the chords on the right there. Yeah, nice one. So this guy was a jazz musician. He was actually a vocalist or possibly a compere. Yeah, that might have been the case at one of those festivals sponsored by Carling Black Label. And then I'm just going to whip this one in. This was Darius Brubeck, eldest son of Dave Brubeck, the legendary pianist, jazz pianist. And Darius lectured at the University of Natal in South Africa for some time in the late 80s and really helped popularize jazz again, I think. So he must have been in Port Elizabeth for some event when I drew this. I've got a whole string of jazz-oriented pictures again, which I hadn't spotted earlier. I know this guy was quite a legend, Chinese descent, Port Elizabeth character who played some excellent jazz. I think he might have been a drummer. And here, a trumpeter. With just the suggestion probably of a saxophonist behind him and a person's head in the foreground. You know, you can't help it if somebody is partially blocking your view. That's just what being at a concert's all about. This might have been in the Warmer Gardens Hotel, where we had these non-racial jazz evenings on a Sunday night. Trombone, which my youngest son also took up for a while at school. And yeah, this is probably Kevin Tim again, who I've featured earlier. He was a regular, him and his dad. It's always nice to see father and son, or father and daughter, or mother and son or daughter united by music, you know. Trombone. Sadly, this paper is starting to fox a bit. I don't know where that term comes from, these brown splotches you get on paper sometimes. So again, here, there's no attempt at really absolutely grasping the face, you know. This would have been done probably in an environment where the face wasn't even all that visible. So I just wanted to capture the character of the musician. Okay, so now we seem to have exhausted the jazz players for a while, so let's get back onto the beachfront. And with pencil, here we have a chap, probably municipal worker, collecting litter. But look at that face, it's just unreal. You don't get that in a photograph. I don't find it insulting or in any way degrading. It's simply how I saw the guy as he walked past, and that's what came out. The same applies to this delightful lady walking along the beach. And even this is actually quite an interesting parody, because I started drawing that guy in the middle of the page, and as he moved along, his legs kind of started to precede him. And look how the arm and the stomach overlap there. But to me, this is quite a fun drawing, you know. It's just, I didn't include the feet because they were obviously just peripheral to the, look at the hand. And as your classic family get together on the beach. Then at some point we must have gone to maybe the East London Zoo, called Queen's Park Zoo. I think that's named after a park in London. Just about everything in South Africa is named either for some place in the UK or in Holland, which isn't places that aren't indigenous to this country. You know. Places that were developed by European settlers. It's a different look of an animal there, like a lion. We're going to get to this antelope. I can just extract him. How's he? So it looks like a kudu, but again, it would have just been a fleeting glance. So not a complete drawing, but you know, the point was just to capture it. And these, probably cattle, eh? These are reminiscent of my sketches of cattle on the border, Namibian border with Angola in '83. And here we were clearly at the East London, I think, might have been the Port Elizabeth home, but more likely the East London Zoo, where this croc rarely ever moved. I can remember as a child going here and he was never in the same pose, but he was always stationary, just basking in the sun, soaking it up. And another antelope. Yeah, can't recall the species of this thing. So now we're jotting around. We're back at the beachfront looking at a yacht sailing by. There's certainly something rather pleasant about being on the ocean wave in a yacht. And speaking of the ocean, here we got what looks like a sailor man. This, sadly, this picture's deteriorated. I've always enjoyed it, but look at this foxing on the paper. So this was done from the yacht club in Port Elizabeth Harbour of the ore berth. Now the ore berth is where they export manganese ore by the hundreds of tons, I guess, on these ships. And I think that's an orc, the ore berth. With that thing would have been taking ore from the left. There are big ore dumps, and they bring this stuff all the way down from the Northern Cape by rail or increasingly by truck, and they're destroying the roads in the process. But there is I think still they're using about 80% rail. Now we're back at the jazz. The guy on the left looks uncannily like my late brother Ian. But obviously it's not. This is done in the Warmer Gardens Hotel again, I think. And again, we've got a little figure on the right just offsetting the more complete drawing. Yeah, these things are stuck together. But I think I'll end it on this note with this very quick sketch. Again, just a few lines and you've got a character there. So, cheers for now.